I told you yesterday, you're a predator.
You're a predator.
You are.
What it is, but I always get the craziest real estate deals. Now maybe it's just that other realtors would walk away and not continue with the deal and that I push through, but it just seems like I get crazy deal after crazy deal. So I get a lot of my listings from calling sellers who live out of state and selling their property for them here in Nevada. Well, in this particular case, I called the seller who I thought lived in San Diego, talked to their family. The family told me they did want to sell the property, but that the seller was here in Las Vegas, and they gave me the phone number for him. So I called him. He said, yes, I want to sell. Can you please come to the hospital immediately and sign me up? I want to sell this thing as quickly as possible. So I meet the seller at the hospital. I brought my wife with me just so I'd have somebody there with me to witness what was happening. The seller told me something that really got my attention, which is that there's a lady living in his house who's trying to steal his house, and that she tried to get him to sign some paperwork and he wouldn't sign it, and they're intimidating him and trying to steal his house. So I go to check out the property once I got the listing, and this house is in one of the worst neighborhoods in Las Vegas. I mean, this is a rough neighborhood. And also the house is only 400 square feet, maybe a little bit bigger, but about 400 and something square feet. So smaller than most people's garage. And there's over 10 people living in the property, believe it or not. And they've stolen all this gentleman's valuables. And there's also people setting up tents in the front yard. And it's just a total mess. So the seller had told me that this lady who was trying to steal his house had randomly just knocked on his door and asked if she could take a shower. He allowed her to come in and take a shower, not knowing that she had plans on staying, and that was 4 months before I met him. Now this lady was a real piece of work. She had tried to force this gentleman to sign paperwork to sell her this house. Not only that, for some reason, God knows why, she came with us to the title company to sign. When he went to the title company to sign his final paperwork, she came with us. Well, she's telling the notary at the title company, can you put the funds on this prepaid debit card? And can you put the funds in this account? And I said, absolutely not. I was there. Thank God I was there to make sure that that did not happen. So this gentleman and his family got their funds and everything worked out okay. On the drive home from the title company, she tells me, I've got 4 more houses like this. This lady is a professional predator going after old people, posing as a caretaker. This gentleman told me that she tried to kill him and steal his house. So most of the buyers who inquired about this property wanted to spend $20,000 or $30,000 max on the property, which was the right price for somebody who wanted to add square footage or remodel the property and sell it. However, we held out and we found a buyer that wanted to pay market value for the property. We sold the property for upwards of $65,000. Once we sold the property, I found out that this gentleman had no way to get to San Diego. So I drove him to San Diego, and I had become personal friends with him by this point, and so I just was doing it to help out a friend. I drove him to San Diego to drop him off at his family's house, and on the drive, he told me something that is so disgusting and heartbreaking, I couldn't believe it. He told me that this lady would put pointy things all over the floor in the house, and when he would step on one and fall down, she would sit there and look at him for hours and just smile at him and watch him laying there in misery on the floor. So when the new buyer tried to get her out of the house, I got involved to help him out just because that's the kind of guy I am. I want to help everybody out and get a final conclusion. So we went to go get her out. We called the police. They couldn't really help us. And we did end up getting her out of the house, but it took quite a bit of work because she will just talk crazy talk and stuff that has nothing to do with what we're even talking about and just try and distract from the real issue. So you can see here in a clip what I'm talking about. This lady, in my opinion, is the epitome of evil.
That's not the Mexican guy that bought it. That is not the Mexican guy that bought it.
I just reported this afternoon.
Yeah. He is not the owner.
My concern is that I've heard that you've been an issue and a problem.
That I've been an issue and a problem? No.
Yes.
You put a bunch of pointy stuff on the ground. I just drove him to San Diego last night.
I'm not part of NBA.
I just drove him to San Diego last night.
You want me to worry about the construction, about the concrete you need to pay for instead of the dope situation.
He already sold it.
There is no rodents or no cucarachas here.
Now, I just recently spoke with the family of the seller. He has passed away now, but they were thanking me for having got the chance to spend a year with their family member prior to him passing away, which they credited me with making that possible because most realtors don't want to handle deals like this wasn't a big price point, and it was probably 5 times as much work as an average real estate deal. Thank you for watching my video. If you guys want more content about Las Vegas real estate and also see crazy stories like this one, then please subscribe to my channel, like the video. It'll help a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much. I love you. Be good.